Who am I? Question is, who am I? Who are you?
Who are you?
I don't know. Who am I?
Who am I?
am Brandy. Hey guys, what's up everybody? My name is Brandy and I'm joined here with my co-host
Sherry.
Yes, we are in the house today to bring you some everyday stuff.
Yes.
We all deal with a lot of stuff, and we're going to start bringing some teachings and some knowledge, maybe help you down your line, because we all deal with some stuff, right?
Right, that's right.
We all deal with stuff. Well, today we're going to be talking about dealing with heaviness. Now, I don't know if you've heard it as being dealing with heaviness, but Sherry, when I say heaviness, I mean, what is heaviness to you?
Heaviness is like having that elephant on your chest that you can't get off, that you can't shake all day, and it's like it's just there and it won't go away, and so it kind of like it governs your day, it governs your thoughts. You just look for the worst to happen because you're walking around with a heavy heart, and so it's like, what is going to happen? So therefore everything negative just sets in,
just keeps flowing in.
Yeah.
And I can agree with you is that, and I see heaviness from a depression point aside. Heaviness is just that feeling where you can't go on, that you're not good enough, you can't move, it's hard to move, you're sluggish, you're tired, you're irritable, you don't want to continue to keep going. I mean, that's when you carry that, it's terrible. So what is heaviness? Heaviness in our perspective, and what we want to help you change, is heaviness is depression. Heaviness is anxiety. Heaviness is having to deal with a lot, and it weighs you down. So we want to change your perspective, because words have power. They really do. When you think of yourself as depressed, you see yourself being depressed. You see yourself in a situation that's clinically you can't get out of. You need to take medication for. You have no control over. Well, we want you to start looking at depression as the word heaviness.
That's right.
Think of heaviness, because when you think of heaviness, it changes the energy that you deal with.
It sure does.
It makes it more tolerable. Okay, it's heavy, so eventually it's going to get lighter. I'm not going to carry this heaviness.
That's right.
For around for long. So words really have power, and when you see things differently, the way they are changes. So we want you to start, every time you start feeling depressed and you start feeling down, in your mind, think, I'm just dealing with a little heaviness today.
Yes, just a little heaviness.
Just a little heaviness.
I like the way you put that, baby.
Allow it. Really allow it. Depression comes when you fight the heaviness, when you get mad at yourself for being down and out, when you're down and out and you're like, I can't believe, why am I not doing this? My house is still dirty. My kids aren't taken care of. I'm really a bad parent. It spirals, it snowballs, and you make it heavier because you do not allow the heaviness to just be.
Wow. Hence, the heaviness begins to control you.
It really does. It takes on a persona of its own.
Yes.
It becomes your demon.
Yes. Ooh.
So let it be. Let heaviness come, and when you deal with it, don't beat yourself up. If you have a bad day, have a bad day, and and don't ever let anybody tell you to not be depressed and to cheer up. If you were that way and you feel that you need to be that way, be that way. I can promise you that it really does serve a purpose. I mean, Sherry, have you not dealt with heaviness before, that in the moment you may not have been able to see why you were dealing with it, but afterwards you had clarity?
Absolutely, all the time. For instance, like my daughters, I always worry about like their hair. Ironically, every morning it's like, oh my goodness, do I need to do their hair? Because I'm worried as a mom that I'm going to send my daughters to school looking like they're unkept. And then one day I just said, you know what? No, it's okay. They're 5 and 7. They don't have to have their hair done every day. They're fine. They're healthy. They're clean. Have a good day. And it took so much pressure off of me. And then I didn't wake up, with a heavy heart thinking, oh my goodness, I got to do this hair. And in the same breath, like instilling that onto them as they got older.
Oh yeah. Like
when I'm not around, like it's like trickling, that mirror effect that you mentioned, last podcast, and so it's like, oh my goodness. So I avoided that altogether.
And that's very true. It's really crazy at how much we worry about what other people think through our children. And I know, because I've dealt with that a lot with my children, especially with the problems that I've dealt with them in the past. When they leave, I fear what people are going to say. Now, mind you, I've had my children taken away from me, and I've dealt with a lot of pain with my children. So it was always a really, really heavy thing for me, especially when I'm overworked, I'm stressed out, I come home, I'm tired, and I just don't have the physical strength to take care of the things that need to be taken care of.
That's right.
And so I would beat myself up because if people came around, they would say something. And then I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing something wrong. I'm being bad.
And it's not even you.
And it's not even me. You are right. And my heaviness, especially a lot of what I've been dealing with is when I'm trying to step up and become a speaker and do these videos and really aim high. I mean, when you dream big, it's hard because there's a part of you that doesn't believe it's possible.
Right.
And then my own demon became my lack of the ability of believing in myself. And so that heaviness would get to me because here I am, I'm doing my podcast, I'm setting my events, I'm moving forward. And then there's this part of me that says, you're not doing good enough. You can't be good enough. There's no way that you have that connection to go out and be that person. You know, you've made mistakes. You're in total chaos. Your life is in shambles. Now, mind you, I'm in chaos a lot, and the way I think is in chaos a lot.
Yes.
But when you came into my life, you offered a peace that gave me clarity.
Yes. Thank
it's like
you, Brandy.
I was in chaos for a reason. It's the chaos that developed me. But now that I'm getting clarity, there's still an old part of me that held me down. And so the closer I got to actually really doing this and setting the dates and moving forward, the harder it got for me because that voice got louder and heavier. But now it's like it's so slowly dissolving because now I'm letting it happen.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And listening to your inner energy, you know,
yes,
without the heaviness, you know, and it's an amazing feeling, you know, it's liberating.
It really is.
It's like you're taking back your power and controlling that heaviness, you know? So it's almost like you've had the heavy for so long that, you know, when you're over it and you're out of it, if you feel it creeping up again upon you, you almost know how to recognize it and prevent.
You know your triggers.
That's right.
Part of the development that I went through is the speaker that I am is self-development. Like I could not be who I am now without self-development. Self-development allowed me to put the focus on myself, and in doing so, I learned what my triggers are. I learned what my downfalls are, but I also learned what my strengths were. And so I can now maneuver in my day, staying away from the triggers that I need to stay away from.
Absolutely.
I took control of my life because I realized the things that caused me to fall down. So I was able to move around with more clarity.
Super. Yes. Yes.
It's really crazy because it's like, you know, we allow heaviness to control us.
Yes.
We have no control. In our mind, we think it's a disease.
Right,
it's out of our control.
Hence, then we're going to psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, and here we come.
I was freaking on an antidepressant at the age of 12 years old. 12 years old, they put me on an antidepressant called Zoloft.
Super young, yes. We know Zoloft.
And this was before Zoloft actually got better. This was the pre-days when Zoloft was actually really bad.
Yes.
And my mom gave it to me because I was depressed. Well, I was depressed because I broke up with my boyfriend. My mom wasn't around. You know, I had a lot of reasons to be heavy. But instead of people asking me why I was heavy, and instead of people, you know, not trying to figure it out, they just pumped me full of drugs, put me on Zoloft. And after being on it for like 2 weeks, I missed one day and had a total reaction where I broke down for 6 hours. They had to give me Benadryl because I was reacting so bad, like all over the place.
Now that's heavy there.
It really is.
It really.
But it's really sad to see that a lot of the times that we don't take the time to get to know each other and ask the questions, and we're so judgmental and assume, and we don't want to get to the root.
Right.
We would rather drug you up.
That's right.
Take a pill to fix it, not realizing that pill does more damage to your body.
Right.
You know.
That's right. That's like when I had broken my foot, fracture, and it's like, you know, oh, here comes all of these meds here. Well, where's the thing that I can do naturally, you know, to just heal without having to take the medicine? Because I think I mentioned to you, I take the medicine, I simply fall asleep. It's not necessarily going to, you know, help the pain. I don't feel the pain because I'm asleep.
Exactly.
And when I wake up, here's the same pain. So it's like, how do I fix that without having to like take the medicine. It's like just putting a temporary Band-Aid.
It really is, though. But getting over heaviness is hard, because heaviness is a sign that you need to change your focus. When you're dealing with depression and doubt and fear, that's your body's way of telling you you're focusing too much on the wrong things. You're focusing too much on the wrong people. You're listening to the wrong people. So that's the body sign saying you're doing something wrong. Well, we internalize it that we're no good and we're doing something wrong, holding on to the heaviness, when it's merely the fact of letting go and realizing that we make mistakes.
We simply make mistakes.
We do. I've made really bad, big mistakes that should have broken me and put me down. But now that I am who I am, I realize that my mistakes were my greatest growth, because it taught me how not to do it.
Yes, greatest growth.
It really is. And I went my whole life not having that guidance. I didn't have that parent figure to tell me how to do things right and how to do things wrong. I was literally left to my own devices, a broken child left to her own devices. To figure it out. So I always did everything the hard way. But doing so, I realized that our paths are so perfect for us, but it's hard to see the perfection of our heaviness when we're in such a dark place, when we don't have a desire, when we don't have a light in front of us. It took me going out on the limb and deciding to do speaking, which is my greatest fear, to do speaking.
You do well with
it,
and I
do well. I really do. But it took me trying to find something to hold on to. Vision boards are a really good one too. Putting vision boards are another way. I am affirmational posters. If you want to become something new and get over the heaviness, you fake it till you make it, in a sense. Or affirmations are good, because if you put an affirmation, like an I am affirmation on the wall, like the art that I create, I am beautiful, I am happy, I am hopeful. In dark days, you can look up that, and when you read it, it's like seeding in your mind. And the more you read it, the more you start to think that way, and the more you can change that way.
Because the main places that you're going to go are let's just say, for instance, your bathroom and your kitchen, right? And your room. So it would be ideal, seems like it, to put the affirmation posters, that you have in those, specific areas where you're going.
Mirrors are the perfect one in the bathroom.
Yes.
Only because you're looking at yourself in the mirror with the poster next to it. A lot of the reasons why we get stuck is because we don't see ourselves from an outside version. We only see through the eyes of ourselves. So we only see the outer world. That's why we're good at pointing out other people's flaws and not our own. So having an affirmation in the mirror next to you as you're saying it, it's like you're teaching yourself, this is who I am, as you're looking at yourself.
Yes, goodness. Absolutely.
So we all know with heaviness, there's a lot of things that cause heaviness in our lives. I mean, we have people who are living paycheck to paycheck. Lord knows I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, it's like paycheck to a week before paycheck with payday loan in there somewhere, Yes. That's how we're living, But we also have the heaviness of our kids are not doing good in school. Our kids are scared and depressed. Our bills are not getting paid.
What are the teachers thinking?
Exactly. Abusive people in our lives, people telling us that we're not good enough. It's like there is so much in this world. It's almost like it was designed to put us down. It really was. So this world was designed, well, not really designed, but our old world, our old lives were designed to hold us down.
Okay.
But it held us down to grow.
Absolutely.
Because, growth comes from pressure and darkness.
The other night I told you, I said, Brandy, you're like the rose that grew from concrete, and so it makes perfect sense, absolutely.
And
coming together.
So now we know where heaviness comes from. We know that we have definitely dealt with a lot of heaviness. We've caused it. We've been it. But when you change the way you see it, you kind of gain more control back from it. Now, there are a lot of ways to really work with heaviness in your life. And you don't always have to go taking a Xanax or a Zoloft or whatever drugs they have out there. I've been out of the game for a while.
It's a million drugs. That's okay. But they're all gateways.
They're all gateways. They really will, because the minute you do it leads to about 50 million other ones. But there's other ways to deal with heaviness. And
what are some of those ways, Brandy? We have
we have several different ways. One is meditation. If you don't know what meditation is, my suggestion to you is go to YouTube and search, what is meditation?
Yes.
Go to Google and search, what is meditation?
Yeah,
Go on there and
absolutely.
find guided meditation for pain, meditation for clarity. There's a buku amount of stuff
Yes.
that you can research nowadays to
Yes.
learn about. Meditation is one of them. And the reason why meditation works so well is because you, at the source of who you are, is energy. And your thoughts have been going so long and so much that you have no control over it. That it's like a hamster wheel that keeps going in your mind, playing over and over and over again. Well, it's a habitual habit that we've grown up with since childhood. We've never thought outside of that. We've never stopped. Be still in the mind.
Be still in the mind.
Meditation, when done properly and consistently, daily. If you don't do it daily, it's like starting over every time you do it. So it's a consistency thing. When you meditate, you learn and focus on your breathing alone over a period of time. It's like putting the brakes on that hamster wheel. It slows it down and it slows it down. And it takes about 21 days to form a new habit.
Yes.
So if you're not if you're not meditating consistently for about 21 days to start with, it can feel like a struggle to meditate. It took me 6 months to learn how to really meditate in the way where I could slow my mind. But now that I've achieved that, I'm able to stop my mind altogether.
Absolutely.
So when those negative thoughts come in and tell me I'm not good enough, I can now stop it, not add energy to it. Prior, you add to it, you hear it, and then you're like, you're right, I am. And then you point out all the reasons why you are, because your mind's going so much and you can't stop it. I'm not good enough. They don't like me. I'm never going to be anything. Life sucks. Might as well just die now. That's how it goes. When you meditate properly, you take that control by stopping your thoughts.
That's right.
You take the energy out of it. You're able to still your thoughts long enough so when those thoughts come in, you're no longer attaching to them. I mean, our greatest addiction is our thoughts.
Oh, wow.
And it's not one we really talk about.
And those deep thoughts will take you back to places that you probably don't want to necessarily revisit, or see people that you don't necessarily need to see.
Oh, yeah.
Just the feeling of it all.
Exactly. And they bring triggers. You start thinking you're not good enough, and then all of a sudden you go to your fridge and you eat like all the cake in the fridge because in that moment it's the only way you could quiet your mind.
To quiet the mind.
It's
absolutely.
People turn to drugs because when I was on them, when I took them, my thoughts told me so many terrible things. I had so many negative feelings. Hurtful things towards other people. I thought in ways that I didn't want to think when I had no drugs in my system. And so I would take the drugs to quiet the mind. It was like my way of being able to take control of who I was in that moment.
So did your drugs just kind of put you to sleep, or?
Oh, no, my drugs gave me energy. My entire life I've suffered with no energy, with lack of life. I've been a very dull person growing up.
Wow.
When I was 22 and my mom introduced me, my first drug was Oxycontin. When she introduced me to that, I took that. I became Superwoman. I could do my job great. I could think. I could get home. I could clean. I'm super mom. The food's cooked. Everything's done. Everything's clean. I can take care of my mom. Like, I'm on top of the world. What? Yeah. Let's paint the house. Let's fold the laundry.
The S on the chest.
That's something at the time, that's something that I dreamed about, because I did not like who I was. I did not like the fact that I had no energy, that I couldn't take care of my kids. I did not like who I was. And that drug gave me the freedom to be everything I ever dreamed of.
Yes.
But that also sucked me down 8 years of hell, because you develop side effects and more problems, and the addiction grew. And it's like, instead of catering to the problem of why I was so tired to begin with, I covered it up with a drug. And that drug drove me into the ground.
Yes. And I know it's a lot of people so casually now. I'll say, when I get home, I'm going to have a drink. But that drink turns into a Tuesday night drink, a Wednesday night drink, a Thursday. So before you know it, alcohol becomes your vice. The simplest thing. Oh, when I get home, I'm just going to sit down and watch, a network. And it can be that particular network every night, but it's going to hinder you from a really healthy night routine of getting things done. So any small, minute thing can soon become a gateway.
Yep. And people tend to turn to things because they have no passion, they have no desire, they don't know where they're going, they're blind. Right. I mean, this life has not been very prosperous for a lot of people.
That's
if
right.
anything, people think life is kind of pointless. What's the meaning to life? And the only reason why they get that way is because the thoughts are playing so much in their head that they could never slow them down enough to process or think properly. So meditation kind of gives you that back.
Yes.
The more consistent you are with meditation, the more you do it daily. With me, I do it 30 minutes in the morning after I get my daughter off to school, and at bedtime 30 minutes at night. And I also meditate with crystals.
Okay.
So
yes.
And crystals would be another one definitely to get into, to learn about. I don't want to go much into crystals into this one only because...
no, but we're going to have to discuss that next podcast.
Next podcast we'll talk more about like what crystals are and stuff.
Yes.
But having amethyst in the house is a very healing energy. Having quartz crystals on you helps to feel your energy. Tiger's eye gives you courage. It's really good at helping you create the energy for courage. Blue jade helps you, keep you more connected to your source. And don't hold me on all these because I'm still learning about crystals.
Yes.
But when I introduced crystals into my meditation, I started to feel my own energy on a scale I had never felt before, and it became living.
Yes,
it started moving. And even you, when I introduced the rose quartz to you in your hand, that was the first time you had ever felt your energy.
Yes.
And it was immense.
Wow.
You remember that day?
Yes.
And you felt like you were just like on a whole nother level after holding that crystal.
Yeah.
So crystals will be something more that we delve into.
Yes.
Another thing you can do is called grounding. Have you heard of grounding?
Grounding like near the tree.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So grounding has a lot of benefits to the human body. When you put your bare feet into the ground, your body then intakes the I'm still learning.
Absorbs
the negative ions from the earth, putting the negative ions into the body, which are very healthy to the body. I never really grounded only until probably the last week or so.
Okay.
And grounding, when you go ground, you put your feet into the ground and you take deep breaths in and you just blow out and you let everything go. It's best if your mind is still when grounding because you feel it more.
Yes.
But even if you can't still your thoughts, you still gain a lot of benefits. I've stayed in my flow more. I've had more understanding, knowledge, and revelations come to me ever since I started grounding. Okay. It's really started to clear out more of the negative. It's almost like it's taking the heaviness off of me without me having to fight it. It helps me to let it go more.
It's a positive
feeling. It's a positive thing. And the earth has a lot of health benefits, which is not really something we're taught about. The bottom of your feet, a lot of energy does transfer in through out of the bottom of your feet. It's like how we're connected to the earth.
Hence, is this the same as mineral water?
Similar to mineral water too as well, because mineral water has energy, and when you take it into the body, it helps the energy in the body internally.
And it does taste like delicious. It's delicious water. I love the way it tastes. But you just gave me an epiphany there, because we're thinking crystals. That means what we're putting into our body, the water is like it's cruising over those crystals, and then it flows into our bodies. So it's perfect. It makes sense. It all comes 360. Yeah.
Gem water, everything when it comes to water. Just a little tidbit, guys. Stop drinking tap water. If you drink tap water, do not drink tap water.
Do not.
My suggestion is to go to distilled water. Drinking tap water, I have a distiller at home. Like I make my own distilled water.
The cutest little thing.
It really is. But when you put the water in there and then you boil it all out, what you're left with is very disgusting. Very disgusting. And a lot of my clarity did not start coming until after I stopped drinking tap water. Like I had no clarity, no guidance, no umph. So stop drinking tap water if possible. Stay away from sugars. I hate to say that, but a lot of people don't really
not the sugars. No.
Eventually you will. Like I stopped craving sugars. I used to be a big candy chocolate person. I used to love it and crave it, but
Snicker bars.
But now for some reason, because I care about who I am and I really care about how I feel, candy no longer tastes the same way. Like it physically changed the way it tastes. I made me a bowl of
Fruit Loops.
I know this is kind of out of context, but I made me a bowl of cheesy mac and spam the other day, and it did not taste the same as it before. It was actually kind of depressing because it was one of my favorite dishes.
Sounds good,
But it just goes to show you that when you start to change how you feel about yourself, the way you experience life changes.
Changes.
The way you taste food changes. Things that you used to like, you probably no longer like. So when self-development comes in, meditation comes in. When you put the time and effort into who you are, the way you legitimately experience life starts to change. You find more things that feel good, that are more fun. You steer away from the things that are no longer good. It's almost like a natural adjustment. So the more you love you, the more you naturally adjust to the things that you love.
And the more you put that energy out into the world, right?
Oh, yeah. And what you get, what you give, you get. What you reap, you sow.
So
it literally happens that way.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
One other thing you guys can do are breathing exercises. In the last moment, breathing exercises are really good.
Are we speaking of the
push, Jerry? You got this. we giving birth today. We'll learn today. No, just kidding.
Yes, a new Crystal is born.
Anytime, and it's funny because I tell people to do breathing exercises, and I swear to God, that's like the exact same thing to me. I'm like, yes, you want to feel better, do that breathing exercises. You will feel great afterwards. I promise you.
Don't let it get to you. Just breathe.
Breathe. You got this. You can handle it. Man, that's a big baby. You did good.
It makes me wonder if there's like a shortage of oxygen to the brain, the reason that we're needing to take in extra air and expel.
I can't figure that out. Yeah. I had 3 kids and I went into labor, and I'm telling you, at the moment in time, did not work.
It doesn't.
When I talk about breathing exercises, what a breathing exercise does is it takes your focus off your thinking. Okay. You cannot focus on your breathing and your thoughts at the same time. Your focus is energy. So when I say breathing exercises, you sit there, you kind of get into a quiet, comfortable space, get in comfortable, sit, stand, whatever you want to do. Okay. Well, sit preferably, I guess. Yes. And you close your eyes and you take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you take the deep breath in through your nose, you kind of picture light and energy going into your face, your forehead, your throat, your chest. You feel that energy go into your body. Yes. And then as you blow it out, you feel all that energy go from the top of your head to your shoulders, to your arms, to your hips, to your knees, to your feet. And you feel it come out of your body. So as you breathe down, you feel your body relax from the top to the bottom. Yes. We put up resistance in our body. It's like when you grip and hold your hands, you put up resistance in your body so energy doesn't flow through us.
Oh, no, we don't want
when
that.
you do a breathing exercise, it takes your focus off of your thinking and it allows your body to let go of the resistance that it's currently putting up. Wow. Heaviness comes from resistance. Resistance comes because we think we deserve it and we feel bad about ourselves, and so we tense up and we hate life.
Oh, now you have me looking at my daughters differently.
Oh, right? So breathing exercises are really good. Like when you breathe in, you count to 6 as you're breathing in. You hold it for 4, and then you blow out for 7. It's like you release all of it. But it's also an intentional and a mindset thing. When you're breathing in, picture yourself taking in energy and light from the universe, because you really are. But because you have free choice and you're not going to be given things that you don't want, you have to intentionally see it happening. So see energy of the universe coming into your body, filling your body, healing your body, and then as you blow out, you imagine all the darkness, the hate, the fear just leaving your body through the bottom of your feet.
I love it.
It's an intentional thing. You're taking control of your own energy. A lot of people think that they have no control, but that's because they live their belief that they have no control.
Right, that's right.
You really have your control. Your heaviness is controllable. You don't need pain medication to do it. You have it in you. If you don't believe in yourself, if you think that you're unworthy, you're going to deal with heaviness. But I can promise you with everything that I know, everything that you do has a purpose.
Yes, I
everything.
Agree. Yes.
And you may not be able to see it now, but take this moment today to decide that you want a better life.
Yes.
You're going to look for something better. And then make a dream board. Put something on your wall of something that you want in a year or 5 years down the line, and see it every day. And after a while, you're going to notice that your mindset will change and almost start to carry you in that direction.
Yes, that's awesome.
So, what we want you guys to know and understand is that you can get through this. Everybody deals with heaviness, but it's how you see yourself in the moment that determines how long you stay in that heaviness. So allow it. Have a bad day, allow it. If you're having a bad day, stay away from people. push people away. Sometimes we have to.
Oh, sometimes we have to.
Yeah.
But then it's going to be really good to distinguish good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you're going to have to be able to look and delve into their spirit to really give you a positive answer indicating, should I or should I not?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So,
yeah,
but if you don't know who you are, then how do you know what's positive or negative?
There you go. Absolutely.
You don't.
Discernment.
It's discernment. Mm-hmm. So the best thing to do is to start looking within. Find you. Don't feel as if you're being selfish, because in all honesty, you can't give away something that you don't have, and you're only hurting yourself when you do.
That's right.
So putting the time and focus and energy into you, what makes you happy? What can you do to bring joy into your life? And if you're in a situation where you're just stuck and you can't get out of it, do the best that you can to find something to hold on to.
Absolutely.
To find something. There's something there for you.
Loved ones, wanting to provide financially, that'll, definitely spark energy and keep you on the right path, Absolutely.
I have no worry that you're not going to make it, because we're all on this path, and through my discovery who I am, I now see and understand that we all have a season.
Absolutely.
We all have a season to go through, and where you're at is just merely a step to where you want to go. And it's getting through this. And when you stop listening to other people, when you stop pointing the finger, when you take responsibility, when you know that you're in control and that you have the means to change it, then you start putting the time and effort into yourself to change what actually needs to be changed.
Yes, goodness.
So heaviness, let's stop looking at depression as depression. It's not depression. You're not depressed. You have no illness. You're not sick. Yes. You have a heaviness that you've lived with your whole life, that you grew up with, that you became friends with, that became you.
And in some cases, what you ignored, and it's just coming to the surface now.
Oh yeah, and we're all coming into a time where we're evolving and coming into light and having peace and joy in our lives. And it does take letting go of the past. You got to learn to forgive yourself, hands down.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah, heaviness will never go away if you can't forgive yourself. And forgive yourself. I forgive you. Everybody forgives you. Well, I mean, they may not say it, but forgive yourself, because really that's all that matters.
That's right. Oh. This has been awesome tonight, Brandy.
It really has, Sharon. I'm really glad that we finally get this opportunity, and we've had so much good in our life line up, and now we have the ability to share it,
absolutely.
the means to share it, and the things to do, and we're gonna have days where we're gonna be talking about fun issues and down. I mean, we're gonna talk about it all.
Yes, but through it all, we're gonna smile.
Oh, always
smiling, always through it all. Yes, having a good time. It's just like being able to come and give voice to those that don't have a voice, and to just the idea of others that are able to hear us and believe and understand that they're not alone in this. They're not alone, because now they have two voices, two true big voices that can relate to them, and vice versa.
And so, we're here with you. I mean, we've been through a lot of darkness. I mean, a lot of people are surprised that I'm still standing from what I've been through. And I know you've had a lot of stuff where you shouldn't still be standing.
And you're going to need to host workshops on just testimonies only.
Yeah.
Testimonials. Yeah.
We have events coming up January 11th. Right now, we're really aiming for January 11th to start our 11th event. 11th events.
Yes. The 11th event. Yes.
We'll host the 11th event, meaning every 11th of the month we're going to be hosting an event where we talk about just life and how to change and how to help you grow and advance. And we think outside of the box. So a lot of our stuff is going to be a lot different. We're going to give you alternatives to changing your life. We're going to give you power back to you, because you have all the power in the world to change your life for the things that you want. You just haven't believed it yet. So let's help bring that belief to you. So keep up with our
like-minded.
Oh, like-minded, absolutely. Yes. When you think this way, your life changes in ways you couldn't imagine, man. If I could just show you a glimpse of my world, and eventually I'll share more of it. But
looking forward.
There's a greatness in who you are and your belief, and you have a lot of power to change your life in ways you couldn't imagine. You just didn't know it yet. So we're gonna get you there.
Absolutely.
So keep coming back to Cherub Chatter. Follow us. We're going to give out some more details later, eventually, once we get our Facebooks and all of our Instagram and our social media up to running. Right now, we're going to stick with this. So if you have any comments you liked, please leave them below. Please subscribe and follow us. We're definitely going to be doing this. We're going to be uploading once a week, Mondays. I'm thinking Mondays or Tuesdays. Hey guys, what works best for you?
Yeah, give us your opinion. Just
what
go ahead
works
and
best
sit it
for
down
you?
there. Yeah.
Join back. If there's anything that you want us to talk about, we can definitely keep it confidential. I got to figure out how we're going to have to get that to that. Maybe our next podcast will come up a way for you guys to message us directly. If there's something that you want to talk about and you don't want to comment, you don't want to leave your information, we definitely can keep that. But the best
understanding.
Yeah, exactly. And the best way to free yourself is to speak truth. Let us speak truth for you, because I'm telling you, we'll tell you the down and dirty, the transparency of who we are, where we've been, and what we've done.
Yes, goodness, and proud.
Oh, very proud.
Proud from whence we came. Absolutely.
Very proud. And we're so proud that we'll be able to show you the beauty, because we're pretty good at giving different perspective, I think.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So
if you hear it, you won't believe it.
Exactly.
It's like you have to imagine someone's walk, their journey, you know. Imagine the experience with their heaviness, you know, and how they might have overcome it. So it's almost like you take yourself out of yourself and you put yourself in someone else's shoes to like truly fully understand, you know, like when you shared things with me, I put myself right there. And so it's almost like I can see the casino, I can see Mom, I can see the energy around, I can see how busy it must have been, you know, but to be continued, still to come, because it's very interesting. You don't want to miss out. So every
Vegas
chance
nights.
you got,
Vegas nights. We're
yes,
calling that podcast Vegas Nights. I'm gonna tell you how I pimped it up in a casino at 10 years old with $100 in my pocket and an arcade.
Video games.
Woo, yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. So
we'll leave that one for later.
Yeah, that's definitely for later. Yeah, we may have to have a little wine with that one.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna call it a night, and we will definitely talk to you guys next week. And you know, we want you to remember something, guys. You matter.
You matter.
You really do. Now it's time to see that yourself. Have a wonderful night. Until next time.
Good night.